Hey guys, welcome back to more Making My Brother Play Otome games. I'm Kaylin.
I'm Nathan.
And last time we were in Edo talking to Hesuke and Sanin about what Kodo found out about the Furies, or rather what Kimigiku found out about the Furies through Kodo's house.
Yep.
And we were also talking about a killer who had been roaming around the place.
Somebody's been murdering people.
Murdering
I'm willing
people.
to bet it's Sanin.
We don't know that yet, but we're going to find out.
Oh, come on. It's so stinking. You might as well just paint a bullseye on it.
Just stick a sign on his forehead. Murder.
Like killing people and gutting them. Slashing them multiple times.
For their blood.
For their blood.
Anyway, let's continue on. The killer didn't care if his victims were men or women, old or young. Still, as frightening as he was, it didn't seem very likely that a killer would try to attack the Shinsengumi headquarters.
That remind you of anything? Another dead guy back in Kyoto, maybe? Oh shit. You mean Sanin? Yeah, it's a little too close for comfort.
Oh. Or is that an... Oh! I don't know. Back in Kyoto, Sanin and his team of Furies had spent most of their time chasing down or killing Ronin. Once they'd cut a man almost literally to ribbons. I hadn't seen it, but the descriptions I'd overheard had been sickening. If these Edo killings were similar... Bum bum bum. But it's not Ronin this time. These people are just people. Do you really think Sanin could kill people?
I'm not saying anything yet, but you should be prepared for the worst. Don't tell Sanin any of this.
Well, that makes sense.
Hesuke, while I'm gone, I want you keeping an eye on Sanin. And her, too. Oh, the worried little mother duck.
He's such a mom.
Right on it.
The next day, the mansion felt strangely empty. Only myself, Hesuke, and the Fury Corps remained. How cheery.
Yay!
Several days later, Hesuke and I were on our way back from a meeting with Dr. Matsumoto. Hijikata had set the wheels in motion before he left, so our task had been relatively easy. Sanin, however, was still a concern. So far, he hadn't done anything to merit suspicion, and I was beginning to think that perhaps Hijikata had been overthinking things. Well, he usually does, but... I mean... We were nearly back to the mansion when Hesuke held out a hand to stop me. Oh, is something wrong?
Shh! He actually said something there, too.
In Japanese, he said shh, and then shizugani, which just means be quiet.
And they didn't bother to translate.
They didn't bother to translate that, funny enough.
Okay.
I strained my ears, but heard nothing. No clang of swords, no men screaming in pain. In fact, it was quiet. Very quiet.
That's the
Too
problem.
quiet.
It's too quiet.
I don't hear anything.
Exactly. It's too quiet. Something's wrong.
Nice. Of course. Even with most of the Shinsengumi gone to Kofu Castle, the mansion was never this quiet. During the day, perhaps, when all the Furies were asleep, but at night we should have heard one or two conversations. Tonight there was nothing. It didn't take us long to determine that the mansion was completely empty.
Not good.
Nope. We ran outside into the vacant streets of nighttime Edo. With the Imperial Army still on the march, and the more recent rumors of vicious killings in the city, it wasn't surprising to find no one in the street at night.
Damn it. Hijikata told me to keep an eye on Sanin.
It's not your fault, Hesuke. Even you can't watch him all the time.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Still, we gotta find him as soon as possible.
We had no real evidence to suggest why Sanin and the Fury Corps disappeared, but it wasn't difficult to guess. My hopes that we might be wrong were shattered by a scream. Hesuke, over there! A pair of men stood several yards away, each with a glistening sword in his hand. Lying at their feet was a young girl, face down in a pool of blood.
You bastards!
Hesuke leapt toward them like the wind, his sword already out. His sword bit deep into one man's side, then swung around to carve a deep red line through the other's legs. No human could have survived his attack. But no human. I watched as the two men stood, unconcerned with their mortal wounds, and felt my stomach drop. Furies? Then there... Even as I spoke, their wounds closed and they turned to run. Before Hesuke could begin to give chase, I heard the whisper of metal passing through flesh. One of the Furies froze, twitched, and split. Standing behind them, glaring out at us through the spray of blood, was a demon. Hey!
Not worth my time.
Fancy meeting you here.
Kazama!
I ran to the girl and turned her over to check for a pulse. There was none. I pursed my lips and took a quick, deep breath before turning to look at Kazuma. Why are you here?
I could ask you the same. Now, could you tell your pet Shinsengumi to stop adding to my problems by releasing the disgusting creatures into the streets?
Hesuke rolled the dead Fury over with a shove of his foot and grimaced. He was one of ours. Well,
Yeah,
dang.
this was one of our guys. I don't know, though.
Do you think Sonnen did this? Our worst fears are proving to be true, and neither Hesuke nor I was pleased about it. He frowned and rubbed his hand across his chin in thought.
What do you mean? Are you saying you didn't command this filth to go forth and murder?
Well, no. Hesuke looked at Kazuma for several long moments, weighing his options. At last he sighed.
No. The man who's in charge of them is the man who leads our Fury Corps. It's looking like he thinks he can just do whatever he wants with the chiefs out of town. Pathetic. But then what can one expect from farmers and peasants? Can't even control your own men.
Wow. As maddening as his attitude was, his words struck home. Kazuma considered us for a few seconds before continuing.
Fine. Tell me where I can find the so-called leader of these creatures. Why? Don't tell me you're planning on helping us.
Well, the chaos doesn't really help him either.
No, because if people find out there's just creepy demon things around
Yeah,
killing
yeah.
everybody, well, he's next on the list.
Yep. Because he's also a creepy demon, so...
I'm not here to wipe your collective asses, but something has to be done or eventually the Satsuma will catch wind of it and demand I deal with the problem. Less work for me if I destroy the root cause now.
Then he did intend to help us. I stared at Kazuma, but he only smirked back at me.
And besides, seeing these fakes running around makes me sick.
Well, okay. I guess that's a motivation of some sort. Hesuke frowned, none too pleased about having Kazuma around, but there was no denying the demon's skill. The three of us searched the city, but found no more of the Shinsengumi series. They've booked it.
Can't find them anywhere. There are a lot of them, and the streets are practically empty. Don't know where they all went. Do you consider that perhaps you are merely a terrible investigator? Clearly I should have conducted this search on my own. No doubt I would have found them already.
Well, then get to it.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask you to stick around. You want to go off and find them on your own? Fine by me. And go get stuffed while you're at it.
Calm down, you guys. We still have to find Sonnen. Gonna put on their get-along shirt.
Yeah.
With their history, it wasn't surprising Kazuma and Hesuke would have trouble getting along, but the level of tension between them was getting so high it was difficult to breathe.
Except for, I believe Hesuke has gotten in a fight with the other guy.
Yeah.
That I can't remember the name of all of a sudden.
Wait, Amagiri?
Amagiri.
The red-haired guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hesuke got in the fight with him, yeah. Twice. And got soundly beaten both times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite thoroughly.
Quite thoroughly. As in the first time he had a wound that he took like months to heal from, and the second time he would have died.
Yeah.
Had he not taken the
Yeah.
Fury Juice.
Fury Juice.
Sorry, Water of Life.
It's pretty clear that Hesuke needs some practice.
It's pretty clear he needs some more, caution and judgment.
And training.
But That's just my opinion.
Alright,
Anyway.
carry on.
Their bickering continued in the form of under-the-breath insults and mutterings until we returned to the Shinsengumi mansion. Hate you. Hate you so much. Hate you too. Hate you more. Etc.
Your mother's a cow.
Your father smelled of elderberries. Guys, over there. Is that Sanan and Sen?
And Sen?
Dun dun dun! Get ready to do the voice.
I don't think I'm ready for that.
Okay.
What?
Drink some more tea.
Why would a demon princess have anything to do with a fake?
Oh no. Had Sen come to see me? I froze, stunned.
Indistinct speech.
No, that wasn't super indistinct, but okay.
Keisuke-sana.
Indistinct angry reply. She's like, what the hell are you doing? Was part of what I caught there in Japanese.
Okay. So not entirely indistinct,
Not
but they
entirely,
didn't bother
no.
to actually
They didn't-
translate it.
Nope. I was too far away to hear what they were saying, but it sounded as if they were arguing. Just as I began wondering what they could be arguing about, Sanan suddenly leaned forward and wrapped his arms around Sen. What?
What?
Keisuke's like, what? Yeah. I don't... Now they were kissing? I glanced over at Hesuke. He looked just as confused and more than a little disgusted. Clearly neither of us knew what to make of this strange scene before us, but this was clear. The fear and hate in Sen's eyes left no doubt that this was not a romantic encounter.
Gasp!
She collapsed to the floor, and as she lifted her head I saw something red fall from her lips. Was that blood?
Oh my, didn't expect to see you here. Have you come to witness her last moments before she becomes a fury? Sanan, you evil bastard.
That's a problem.
No, Sanan, don't tell me you made her drink the water of life.
What?
No, of course not. I have no need for that any longer. Anyone who drinks my blood will become a fury under my command. I am no longer a normal fury. I have drunk blood with no thought to whether it was right or wrong, and it has granted me new strength. I have been chosen!
Welp. His voice shook just slightly with the unmistakable tremor of ecstatic madness. I didn't know how much of what he said was true, but...
This is gonna be difficult.
It's gonna be good. There was no denying that Sen was in pain. Sanan, why did you do this to Sen? Because he's cray.
Isn't that obvious? She is to be the glorious leader of a kingdom of furies, in name at least. A demon who has been overcome by the blood of a fury. She will symbolize the fate of all demons. Enough.
His voice was a low growl.
Enough of this bullshit.
I appreciate that. His voice tore through the air with the naked fury of a bolt of lightning.
You filth. You disgusting animal. How dare you even touch a pure-blooded demon?
Kazuma's hands twisted into white-knuckled fists. Oh.
You are nothing but fake. I'll tear you to pieces and scatter them to the four winds.
Yikes.
He's got horns.
Yes, he does. Both men launched themselves forward with a roar. I could feel the rage coming off Kazuma in waves, like heat from a fire. I wanted nothing more than to run and hide where he would never find me.
Well, you're awfully angry, aren't you? I think you'll probably kill me if I don't do something.
I think that's the general idea, yeah.
So do something. Princess Fury, kill them. I will never yield to the likes of you!
Her hair was soaked with sweat, and her face was pale and waxy. A hand clawed desperately at her chest, but Sen's eyes were full of fury, and fixed immovably on Sonnen. The pain she was in looked nigh unbearable. Just looking at her made my own heart ache in sympathy. Sonnen could never be forgiven for this.
You've remained conscious, I see. Well, that will make your inevitable defeat much more satisfying. I suppose I should have known a demon princess would be somewhat more resilient, unlike this rabble.
He gestured carelessly with one hand, and more furies than I could count crept from the shadows. They appeared on the roof of the mansion, from behind walls, through windows, everywhere. Oh, he's got an army.
The Fury Corps. It looks as if I'll have to wait a bit longer before my demon princess is ready to become a Fury Bride. You're going to run away? Damn it! Move it, jerks! Oh, that's pointless, you know. They won't listen to you. They won't listen to anyone. Well, anyone but me.
Their faces showed neither the mindless hunger of bloodlust nor the set expressions of warriors. Instead, there was nothing. Flat, unfocused eyes stared back at Hesuke with no more emotion than they might show for a stone. Sonnen grinned and giggled to himself while Cosmo growled and ground his teeth.
It's not good for your teeth, man.
That is not good for your teeth.
Your laugh is annoying. Your pathetic creations won't stop me. I doubt they'll even slow me down. Soon you'll feel my sword in your throat. I'd love to see you try.
Sen had gone nearly limp from exhaustion. Sonnen picked her up with a single hand and took a step back. The wall of furies closed in front of them, and they disappeared from view. Clang.
Well, I look forward to our encounter in the Kingdom of Furies.
Oh, nice.
Great. Damn it! Get out of my way, filth!
I started to run after them, but stopped myself. Anything I did would only make things more difficult for Hesuke and Cosmo.
Naomi, stay there!
But Sen is... Then the fight began, and Sonnen's laughter and my voice were both drowned out by the sound of sword on sword. Sen! Poor Sen. She's been through so much already. I knew it lasted barely minutes, but when the battle finally ended, I felt as if it had been hours since we'd seen Sonnen and Sen. Wow, say that 5 times fast.
Sonnen and Sen.
Seen Sonnen and Sen.
Seen Sonnen and Sen.
The ground was littered with dead furies. Hesuke's shoulders drooped, and Cosmo slammed his fist into a wall over and over, cursing with each blow.
Damn that fake! How dare he outwit me! He said something about a kingdom up north. What the hell was he talking about?
I too wondered what Sonnen was planning, and what he would do with Sen. Sen. For the time being, though, all I could do was pray that she was safe. Bum bum bum. Chapter 6.
Bum, bum, bum.
Just jamming right through this.
Jamming right through.
Jamming through.
Jamming on it. August of 1868.
I don't remember if Hesuke's is the shortest route, but I do remember that it is one of the shorter ones.
I'm not going to argue or complain.
Anyway, it'll be interesting. Just as Hijikata had predicted, the Koyo Regulatory Company met with a bitter defeat at Kofu Castle. Even after facing the deadly carnage of a modern gun battle, Kondo refused to change. This was the final straw for Harada and Nagakura, and after Kofu, they turned their backs on the Shinsengumi. Guys, when had it begun? Bit by bit, the captains I'd met back in Kyoto were going away. Following in the heels of their victory at Kofu, the Imperial Army spread their influence into Edo, driving the Shinsengumi north once again. Nagakura and Harada had left. Okite was still trying to fight his disease. Inoue and Yamazaki had passed away.
Yep.
Yep, we're getting down in caste here. But even after the but even the far north wasn't safe. We were surrounded, and Kondo was captured.
It's easier to keep track of which characters are around, though.
Wow. Kondo had wished to commit honorable suicide when we were surrounded, but Hijikata convinced him to surrender instead, hoping that perhaps he could survive. Yeah. With attention diverted by the chief's surrender, the rest of us were able to escape, but despite Hijikata's best efforts to have his sentence commuted or removed, Kondo was executed. Not Kondo. Though Shinsengumi had lost their chief and many of their comrades, they continued to push north under their new leader, Toshizo Hijikata. Perhaps they did it out of a desire to honor what their friends and companions had fought for, or perhaps because there was simply no other choice. Whatever the reason, it suited my intentions fine. The foremost concern on my mind, and Heske's, was the location of Sonin, and by extension, Sen. As we moved north, we heard frequent rumors of brutal murders like the ones we'd heard of in Kyoto and Edo. Men and women of all ages had been slaughtered, indiscriminately, their bodies sliced to ribbons. From time to time, we actually came across these corpses ourselves. They confirmed that we were on Sonin's trail, but they were hardly a pleasant sight. Eventually, our travels took us to the home of the Aizu clan. They covered a lot of stuff there in that chapter opening.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Aizu was a powerful domain in the northeast, led by Katamori Matsudaira, a former Kyoto military commissioner. They were also one of the few domains the Shinsengumi counted among their allies. We spoke with them upon our arrival, and it was decided that the Shinsengumi would fight under Katamori Matsudaira in several battles to come. We were given rooms in the house of a town surrounding Shirakawa Castle.
The encyclopedia has been updated.
About Shirakawa Castle.
About Shirakawa Castle.
Later that night, Hijikata sent for Hesuke and myself. You're staring.
Sorry, I
Were you shocked?
yeah, it's like, come on, don't you think these look kind of weird? They're tight in all the wrong places.
This was an actual thing, by the way, historically. Is that,
He dressed in modern European clothes?
yeah, the groups like this, like the Shinsengumi, started dressing in Western military uniforms. ... For a moment, I didn't even recognize him.
I didn't. I thought it was somebody else for a second.
You're like, wait, who's that? Yeah, they cut their hair, too.
Hey, Naomi, you listening? ...
The voice was the same, but his appearance was different. Very different. Oh, I remember this bit.
Hey, Hijikata, do I look funny? Yes, you do.
So does Hijikata.
That matters? If we're going to be using guns, Western clothes are better. Why are you asking me anyway? Well, Naomi seems to have gone into shock. Figured I must look pretty hideous.
No, that wasn't it at all. Everyone had gotten new uniforms after coming to Aizu. No, this was because of Hesuke's hair. He'd always kept it long before, so to see him like this was something of a shock. Still, it wasn't all bad. In fact, it was almost... sexy.
You say something?
Nope. He grinned at me and I blushed bright red. No, nothing. Nothing at all. It looks really good.
Yeah? Well, if you think so, that's good enough for me.
He flashed me another grin and then said to loosening his sleeves and cuffs in what I confess was a rather showy manner. I kept sneaking glances at him out of the corner of my eye until Hijikata sighed exasperatedly. Dang kids.
Enough showing off. I called you here for a reason. Oh yeah, so what's up? Got a problem. Take a look at this letter from Sendai to the Aizu.
Hesuke and I took the letter and read it.
This is from Sendai to a bunch of domains? Why we must not yield to this new regime.
So they're telling the other domains that the new government's pressuring them, but they aren't going to give in, and that we should all fight against the Imperial Army as long as we can? That's a really long question. Anyway. Yes.
Close enough. Sendai's made an alliance with the Aizu and the other northerns called the Great Northern Alliance, which was soon crushed by the Empire of Japan.
Well, yeah.
This letter is telling everybody to fight to the last man. They probably sent it to everyone in the alliance. Hijikata, did you just bring us in here to show us a letter? I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but this sounds like good news for us.
Hijikata frowned.
The letter is fine. Look at the end of it again. Therefore, it is our duty as patriots to oppose this new...
He froze, and I saw his eyes widen. The smile that had been playing about his face suddenly disappeared. What's wrong, Hesuke? When he spoke, it wasn't to me, and his voice sounded strangely hollow.
Sign Kesuke Sanan, retainer of the Sendai domain.
Well, shoot.
Gasp.
Gasp. Sanan, the man who had abducted Sen and told us he meant to found an empire of furies in the north, was now an official in the service of the Sendai domain.
Don't know what he did, but he must have managed to finagle his way into the Sendai higher-ups. Well, if you make him promises of a completely loyal, near-nigh unstoppable army,
Yeah, like, look at
tells him
this.
they'd be
I
just
got an
like,
army that can't die. Yep.
the Furies and Sanan are a problem we created. Now they're a problem we need to uncreate.
Well, I have to go for Sen's sake, but... Hijikata nodded.
Yes, we're on the Aizu's payroll now. We can't just run off and do whatever without their say-so. Even if we did, the Shinsengumi heading into Sendai as an army might cause problems between the Aizu and the Sendai.
Well, that's true. He didn't mention it, but we both knew Hijikata had hurt his leg in battle earlier, and had placed Saito in temporary command of the Shinsegumi's frontline forces. We all wanted to stop Sanan, but the Shinsengumi was effectively immobilized. What were we going to do? Hesuke's bitter laughter made me look up.
I get it. You called me in here because you want me to go to Sendai, right, Hijikata? As far as the rest of this world knows, Sanan and I are dead. Send a dead man after a dead man, huh?
You don't have to say it like that. Lately, Hesuke had become increasingly bitter when speaking of himself. I wasn't sure when exactly it had started, but I suspected it was around the time Sen and Kimigiku's revelation about the source of a Fury's powers. A frown would darken his face whenever someone mentioned Furies. It made me sad to see him that way.
It's alright, Naomi. He can say what he wants. Doesn't change the fact that I'm ordering him to go take care of Sanan.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, he's got a little unfinished business with that bastard anyway. Orders received, Commander. I'll be heading out as soon as possible.
He was suffering. Anyone could see it. Every time the bloodlust took him, he was reminded once again of the fact that he was no longer human, and then his life would end all too soon. But this negative behavior was so unlike him. Hesuke, wait!
Don't, Naomi. Let him be.
The commander's voice was calm, almost casual, but there was no mistaking his words for a request. His face was drawn and his eyes were sunken and tired. The war was draining his spirit, and sending Hesuke to Sendai was yet another burden he would clearly rather not bear.
I can't send men from our fighting divisions. We can't spare them, and it might piss someone off. Hesuke is the only Fury who's been publicly declared dead. He's my only choice.
There are really no other option?
You think I haven't looked for one? No, it's just him. Besides, he's probably the only man who might actually stand a chance against Sanan.
Plus has a personal vendetta. He would be alone. He would go to Sendai alone, suffer the bloodlust alone, and fight Sanan alone. Perhaps he would die alone. Please, let me go with him. I owe Sen. I have to help save her. And I want to help save Hesuke too. Hidekata stared at me, his eyes piercing and his face unreadable. I stared back with as much intensity as I could muster. At last, he let out a long sigh and shook his head.
Kept you locked up because we were trying to find Kodo, and we didn't want you finding out why. What's your point now? Hell, hasn't been much of a point for a while.
Then I can go with Hesuke?
Yeah, sorry about all this. Consider yourself free to leave whenever you want.
I laughed, then caught myself. The thought of the cold man we called the demon, apologizing for anything, was just strangely amusing. Well, I haven't really thought of myself as locked up here for a long time. I did feel that way at first, but the longer I stayed, the more this place started to be, well, home.
Feeling pretty frank, are we?
You know how I'm feeling? I'm feeling like it's probably time we end the episode.
Fine.
I know we're probably pretty close to the end of this scene, but we have to leave more for the next episode.
Alright. Well, until next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.